I am Jason Abraham, the Shadow Teacher, 33. Lots of activity in nature behind me. Fresh after a rainstorm. And I've been doing a lot of videos going into the great I Am, as there's so many videos on YouTube about using I Am to manifest dreams and desires in this life. But yet, if it was so easy, we would see far more people getting exactly what they wanted. There probably wouldn't be as many videos because it would just be more commonplace. So there's always more to it. Always more layers. And as I've said in many other videos, the I Am doesn't manifest what you think you want. It manifests what you actually believe. And part of understanding what we actually believe is reflecting. If someone doesn't take time to reflect, then they are not sovereign. They are not free. They are in fact very robotic, and they're simply living out unconscious programs. So taking time to reflect and understanding what one believes is crucial to being effective with an I Am manifestation. And so I found questions, contemplative meditation, quite valuable on the process of understanding what we actually believe. And as a young child, a question I asked, that I was curious about, is sort of the inverse of the I Am. It's, who am I? Who am I really? I was an only child, so I grew up alone. I grew up Catholic. So I grew up with the mythos of a God that was going to burn me in hell eternally if I didn't do what my parents told me to do. That was my perception of God. So I would ask these questions again. That didn't sit well with me, so I would ask, who am I? And I would also ask, who is God? And later on in my adult life, I came back to those questions, usually through times where trauma was induced in my life, where I was going through a period of an ego death, of a former version of what I believed I was dying, and what I believed was true just falling apart before my eyes. I would ask those questions. Who am I? Who is God? Why am I here? Another one. And I also find it interesting that in many indigenous native cultures, in rites of passage, in the process of initiation into another phase of life, another phase of responsibility, part of that initiation is inducing trauma and going through periods of being alone in the woods and facing the trauma, facing the shadow, and going in to these deep existential questions. Who am I? Who is God? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And what I find is when we can go deep into these questions and reflect on them, then we start to find out what we truly believe. We start to find out the depth of what we truly believe. And then when we find that out, and we're congruent in what we truly believe, then when we go forward and make a declaration with an I Am, there's a greater chance that it's going to show up in the way we want it to, because it's in alignment with our true beliefs, not what we think we should believe or what we desire to believe on the surface. So with that being said, I'm going to end this transmission and go about my day, and maybe there's going to be a time in my day where I sit in contemplation and let the thoughts of the day pass, let the interactions of the day pass, and I'm going to ask that question I've asked all my life once again. Who am I? And then I'll ask the other question, who is God? And why am I here? And I'll see if how I'm showing up is in alignment with that. And then I'll make some I am declarations that are in alignment with what's revealed to me. Be well, my friends. I'll see you on the other side.